Attention bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen! Hello, yodelers. We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Peter, with my co-host
Jackie
and
Chiefin.
And today it's fight night at the Matterhorn.
Ding 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 fight.
So for a while now, we've had this like underlying like debate between Yodeler Jackie and Yodeler Japheth here.
Jackie started. She's just mean.
She did.
I am not mean.
She's like, it's not a good attraction.
I did not say it's not a good attraction. It's just not my favorite attraction.
I think it's overrated. That's Jackie's Muppet voice for me.
I'm
just better.
So I figured today would be a fun day to have both of them debate each other as to why they feel, for Jackie, why she feels Pirates is a better attraction than the Haunted Mansion.
The Matterhorn?
The Matterhorn. No, the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Which Japheth will be defending the Haunted Mansion.
I mean, if you think about it, if you had to choose one, and this is a hard debate because most people love them both.
They're very close.
They're both...
And when they were conceptually created,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
they're very similar. And then the creators are very similar too.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
So that style is there.
So, I mean, you think about it. If you could only keep one attraction between Haunted Mansion and Pirates, what would you keep? And that's what we're discussing.
That's right. And I am the moderator of this debate because, you know what, I could go either way. I'm very impartial on this. I'm
going to interrupt you because that's what happens in debates. I'm not going to let you finish. I'm going to keep over-talking. No, sorry.
We're not going to...
This is not a formal debate. No time is going to be given or...
Excuse me, I let you finish your last statement. All right, let me finish mine.
So this is just going to be just a fun argument with one another as to which attraction should burn to the ground. No? Okay. Maybe not burn to the ground, but bulldoze, baby, bulldoze, right?
You know what? Just before this gets started, I think both attractions are quintessential for a complete trip to Disneyland.
Valid.
And I would be sad if either one of them was bulldozed.
What about at Disney World?
I'm fine with... I think Disney World's Pirates needs to be... Updated and fixed. Their queue is the most immersive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. To where it's like, oh, it's themed so well. Mm-hmm. And then you get on the ride and you just like, you got this weird conveyor belt that gets you out. And
today's discussion, we're talking about Disneyland's version.
Yes. Yeah. And I worked at the Disney World Haunted Mansion, and that would just be heartbreaking for me to lose that. And it's just like, So there's a lot of emotion behind the mansion for me, but I am more prone to liking the Haunted Mansion in Florida than the one in Disneyland.
All right, so this is going to be fun. So we'll start things off with Jackie. I've got a question here for you.
Okay.
So tell us, what makes Pirates more special than Haunted Mansion?
It is fully more immersive. It covers all 5 senses. It covers the smells, your eyesight, the sounds. I mean,
it covers your eyesight. You can't see anything. No.
So if you're missing any of these 5 senses, you cannot fully enjoy this attraction. Is that what you're saying?
No.
That's what I heard.
No, I'm just saying, what was the question? What makes it more
special?
It is fully immersive. There's
the water tastes delicious.
Yeah, how did you get taste in that one? Snozzberries. It's like snozzberries.
I'm saying there's so much to look at this ride that you can ride it multiple times and still discover new things. I watched a ride through and discover something new that I never knew. And I'll get into that.
Okay. Japheth, same question, but for the mansion.
For the Haunted Mansion... You have 2 experiences as you go through. And I think this is an immersive attraction. You leave, sunny California, and you enter in a house that is dealing with a storm. Like, it does keep you in there while you're just, you leave that world. You get into the stretch room and you do the whole ride experience. You feel like you're in another place. You don't feel like, oh, I'm on Snow White's and you got these cutouts. You have these interactive ghosts. I agree.
You really feel like you're in a mansion.
You do. You feel like you're in a mansion, and there's magic there. There is magic because you always wonder. You're like, how did they get the ghost up there? How did they do that? Or how did they do the mirror? You leave there asking questions of how did they do that? And I think that's what makes it better than Pirates.
I do like that. That's a good one.
You leave going, wow. And there are new adaptions that they've done to Mansion that Pirates they've tried stuff and they've gone back to the old thing because we're like, I feel like they can't change too much of it. While at the Haunted Mansion, they can add new technology to kind of evolve. And so I think that the magic and the innovation at the Haunted Mansion allows it to progress more as opposed to just being a bookmark in time for Disneyland. Pirates.
I agree with that. Like, Pirates has a lot more tricks and things up its Haunted Mansion has more like tricks up its sleeve. But what's great about Pirates is it allows you to use your own imagination as you go through different stories and you see different pirates and you create different stories and scenarios of the pirates that you see, and you get to develop and connect with those characters that you created.
So shall we do a podcast about create a pirate story?
Yeah, why not?
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
When we get tired to do the Haunted Mansion ghost.
Our stories have been like, you've got great stories. It's story time's always like, oh, what's Peter gonna come up with?
I mean, when you first enter in, and you see the skeletons of the pirates and they're like dead, and you go, what happened to them? How did they die? How did they end up in this position?
How did that ghost die holding that bottle of wine perfectly and still die like that,
exactly.
with his hand up?
You want to know these stories, and like it's also a great opening to know for movie potentials for these different storylines.
Pirates does have more opportunity for story creating with Pirates.
Yes.
The romanticism of Pirates it's fascinating for movies, and that's why Haunted Mansion has struggled so much to create a story centered around a house and the guests there. Well, Pirates, it's not geographically held to one point, but the characters are the heart of that story.
So there's more storytelling opportunity with Pirates than there is the Mansion.
Well, the Mansion has people and characters. Its restriction is it has to come to point A, which is the mansion. And that's what's really hard when it comes to movies. But I believe Haunted Mansion has that kind of like, we do that with our podcasts. Write a story about it. Like, what could be that person's story? Or like, why did they do that? It's kind of fun. That's what's really good about these rides is that they both came around the same time and they have that curiosity.
I mean, a lot of the same Imagineers worked on both projects.
They did. And
yes.
I'll give Pirates that they have a good flow of a story.
Yes.
Better than Mansion. And I think it's just Mansion has two different types of attractions. You've got the spooky half for those that like the creepiness, and then you have the fun Disney like, you get the ballroom and grinny ghost. It's
right.
It's you got two different mansions, and it kind of just leaves both people pretty happy. I never have anybody going like, oh, I hate the first half, or like, but the second half is the best. I always ignore. No, my thing with Pirates is after, once I get to the fire scene, I'm done with the ride. I don't care. I don't care about what's cute is the dog and the bone, because it's just iconic.
But then you spend the rest of the time worried that like I'm going to die here because
I do. I have anxiety for that. I don't.
Fun.
No, it's not. I'm not thinking. Last time we went, we were in the boat, and I'm seeing as the boats go up the ramp. I'm going, okay. I grab my child in my arm, like I'm thinking evacuation points for ride failure. I don't have that with Haunted Mansion ever. It's like so you got these giant beams. So I know I'm in California when I'm riding this ride, and there's always that fear of like, what's this ride gonna do when an earthquake happens?
Right.
What's gonna fall down? And I have that. I've always had that as a kid, but now when I have my own kids, it's different.
It's even worse.
You got Papa Bear kind of fear coming in.
Yeah.
And so I think that's my negative on Pirates is that anxiety of ride failure. As opposed to like Haunted Mansion breaks down, you're like, I'm in my doom buggy. I'm here.
You see, and I don't see that anxiety.
You don't have that.
No.
But I have always said like the
I think-
beam hanging over.
But
every time I'm like, oh, don't
You
follow
see
me.
stress about it because it feels so realistic.
No, it's the fear of the environment of the ride failing. It's not the realistic of like, oh, is the beam gonna fall off? No, I know it's not gonna fall down on me because I think it's just structural failure. That's what I fear. I feel earthquakes causing things to break, and that's what I don't enjoy. You know, the ending of Pirates.
Because what, Haunted Mansion doesn't have anything above your head?
Not a giant beam, and I have a roof over my head in the doom buggy, as opposed to the boat, where it's just like,
Okay, so let me go to each of you here. So Jackie, tell me a reason why you feel the Haunted Mansion isn't that special.
It is kind of boring. You ride it once and you're like, for the first time, you're like, oh, this is fun, whatever. I consider Haunted Mansion my nap ride.
you feel safe. I totally agree.
Rest in peace.
I will rest in
your
peace
dark
there.
Christmas sleigh.
But so I'm sorry. The question was
Just look what makes
What makes
Haunted
Pirate? Yeah, wasn't
Haunted
Haunted
Mansion not very special
okay.
in comparison.
I think if you've done it multiple times, it gets old. You see the same scenes, the same immersiveness. I'm not really creating a lot in my brain. Not a lot's distracting me. The only thing that's like distracting would be like the graveyard scene. Because
So you're not getting
much.
your dopamine hit
No.
on from the scenes.
No.
It's interesting because when I worked at Haunted Mansion, I was always looking at so many different things because even though 3 years of working there, I'm always like, what's in that door? Like, how's that stretching? Is it rubber? And then when I got to do my walkthrough, I would touch it.
Yeah.
What cards are in front of Madame Leota? What is the page number on there? That's what was always fascinating for me. So
Yeah, I don't get that excitement of, I don't know, of that type
the curiosity of how
of
things
that.
are.
Industry. I'm not thinking of like what adventure, like Pirates is. It's just like, oh, there's ghosts and they're happy. And, there are parts in Haunted Mansion where like I can see the structure of the animatronics isn't as well covered like it is compared to Pirates. Like I can see like the structural thing, like the popping up and you just see like
That
the
is
stick.
hokey. It is not a good feature of it.
Yeah.
I agree. It's one of my least favorite parts of the Haunted Mansion is the like
The
I'll pop up
popping,
the Jack in the Box scare you.
Yeah.
That works on a toddler, but it doesn't really work on an adult. Like,
And also like the Haunted Mansion does go down for part of the year for the holiday overlay. And so it's not as consistent as Pirates.
but it is consistent that they do that overlay every year.
Yes.
So those who go know that it's going to be changed.
Right. Well, those that do know, but some people don't know, and then
they're given a different experience.
right.
All right, J5th, same question, but for pirates.
Pirates has no magic. No magic.
I'll give you a chance to rebuttal.
Pirates is basically Disney's way of not paying live action actors to perform. It is
This be a union speech here coming
so
up?
heavy animatronic. It relies on that. That was awesome in 1960. But I'm going through and I'm like, Carlos, don't say, you know, it's clunky. Their movements, they have better animatronics now. And I feel like Gen 1 animatronics is at Pirates. And they have not updated it since the, like, Captain Jack Sparrow animatronic.
And it's updated at Haunted Mansion.
Well, I'm saying, like, they've added, but the thing is, it's the magic of wonder of how things go. But it doesn't, Pirates relies so much on the animatronic movements of these characters that it's just, to me, it's Gen 1. It's like watching a prop plane and then you see an F-35 fly over and you're like, whoa, why can't that do that? You know, it's just, it's old. And it doesn't do it for me anymore. That magic trick has been done. As opposed to being at Mansion, I think there's still more magic to be there, to be done. Pirates has the worst ending. You have the anticlimactic, and then you're like, and then you have the boat ride that just like coast, and then you have that awkward, like, you look at the people in the line.
I love that part.
I don't want people in my business. Like, I just it's so anticlimactic. As opposed to when you leave at Mansion, it's like, hurry, bye, hurry. You know, you feel the story continues there, as opposed to the pirates and the dog, and then you're like, we have the burned out place, and then like we have the last drunken pirates that don't know when to go home, you know. And then you do have that little scene with Jack Sparrow, but that, it's just, I feel it's a weak ending for the story. But the flow of Pirates, great. You know, I'll give them that. The flow of the story is good. But like after the fire scene, I've checked out. And my brain is like, I want to do something else. What are we going to do? Pirates is good for like thinking of like, okay, what am I going to do next? How are we going to do this? And maneuvering. It allows me that time to sit down because it is a long ride. But if I don't want to sit for a long time, it may not be my ride. But I just, going back to what, it's not special. It's the first gen animatronics and nothing else.
Okay. Did you have a rebuttal, Jackie?
I mean, I really can't tell the major difference between the animatronics between Haunted and Pirates. Honestly, I think the art of the animatronics in Pirates are a lot better than Haunted.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you say there's a lot more animatronics in Pirates.
oh
and
yeah,
there
yeah.
is.
It relies on the animatronics to sell the story. It's like a step up. Like, remember going to the Great Movie Ride and you'd have like the alien scene? It's like, oh no, the alien's coming.
And Shaky Sigourney
Weaver. Yeah, it's just, it's there. It's still the same thing. You know, Abe Lincoln's more attractive to watch getting up and down from his chair than watching some of the animatronics.
I mean,
and going for the hokiness of the spinning of the like chase scene, that's like the pop-up thing for me.
no. I mean, it's no difference in like the ballroom scene.
Yeah, there's the spinning, but you're always watching them move, because what works for that is that when you're dancing, they're spinning. Like it's something you would see in a grand scene from a movie where you have ballroom dancing, and you're moving so quickly that you really don't look at it for so long. We're going, I get it, they're dancing forever. There's 6 different things to look at in that room. You have the organ player, you have the dueler, you have like what was his name, Pinkerton or something like that, or
Oh yeah, I forgot what his
yeah,
name
I did the
was.
story on him. The guy in the chandelier. You have the birthday cake. You have the
You
hidden
have
Mickey.
the same thing for pirates in all in one scene. You have different stories, different animatronics that you're describing that's better. You have that same thing in pirates.
I'm saying, and that's fine. It's just the animatronics is not magical for me. That ballroom scene, pure magic. You have the Pepper Ghost technique is so cool because you can't see a ghost in real life, and Disney has created ghost in that scene. I can create pirates with actors, but this is like, well, we don't want to pay actors, so here we're gonna put some animatronics, and it'll get the job done. That's where, like, for me, it's like I could make pirates better by putting actors in there. You can't make Haunted Mansion better by putting ghost people in there.
As said from our discussion from the Haunted Mansion movies, the ghosts,
They never work.
the ghost in the movies never work.
And I'm like, why
So-
can't you do that in Haunted Mansion in a movie? You know, like, it looks better in a 1960 ride than in the movie.
I mean, there is magic with the animatronic in Pirates. When you transition from the skeleton world to the live pirates, you've got the one pirate holding the the chest, and he's a skeleton, right?
Yeah.
But then as you transition it into the real life and you look back, he is a real person.
So okay, so we have the chest.
It's
I'm trying to
it's
think.
He's,
right
like,
before
tied up.
it's a new effect.
Okay.
It's right before you get into like the ship fight,
Ship fight.
Okay, ship fight.
and so you're still in the cave, and like you're
There's the chest, the Aztec gold. Is that what you're referring
No.
to?
after that.
It's
After
after
that.
that.
So it's
I'm
it's-
missing it, I
It's this
guess.
tunnel where there really wasn't anything for a long time.
Is that
That's
where
what
they used to have the smoke?
right.
And it was like, ooh, that was
Right.
the worst
So-
effect
so
ever.
they
I'm glad
got-
they got rid of that.
They got rid of that, and they put this figure of this skeleton holding a chest, and then as you passed by him, you saw that he turned into like a living being.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting now we're thinking about it. Like, Pirates does have the two-story kind of thing. You have, like, the after effect of, like, Ghost, and then you're like, what happened? Why are we here? And it kind of gives, like, that story.
Right. There's definitely a larger story, I would say, for Pirates than for Haunted. And for, I mean, animatronics, you say it's heavy. Yeah, there's 126 animatronics in Pirates. But in Haunted, there's 109. So not a huge difference.
Not a huge difference. No.
And, you know, you've got what? The ballroom scene, but then your heavy animatronics is the graveyard scene, right? And I don't know. The quality is Gen 1, I would say.
Yeah, but, I mean, you do get, like, you got the Hatbox Ghost, and that's really fun to see. You know, that they
Is
finally...
it? Is it though?
For me, I think it's a really cool...
I feel like they have the timing completely off of the transition between the heads, because sometimes you miss it because it's your vehicle's moving way too fast for it to see the transition.
Okay. I've never had that issue.
And the only reason why the Hatbox is popular today is because of the original story behind building it.
Of course, the mystique of
Of a failed effect that didn't work, and then
Yes.
the mystery behind it, and then it comes back, and everyone's like,
yeah, there's the true Disney fans with that, and I may fall prey to that. You know, I don't know what it's like to be a regular like guest and not have that, so I have to. I can't really say no, you're wrong, and that I don't know. I'm biased in that view. What I like about the Haunted Mansion early part is they really, as you're going through, you feel like you're going through a house, and you're getting the creepiness of it. Each room brings a different type of ghost. It does like psych you out a little bit in the beginning. You've got the doors that creak. You've got the candelabra that floats. You've got, what's the name of the ghost? Petey? Who's the name of the ghost that you created for that?
it was like
Billy.
Ivy, Ivan. And I forgot what his middle name, but it's IB Stuck.
I'd be stuck.
IB Stuck was
Yeah.
the abbreviation I created for that character. The guy in the coffin. Get me in here.
Yeah, and I mean, you go through the stretch room, which is, for those who are like, that's still part of the queue, and it's like, well, then the queue experience is really great in getting you into the story. Yeah, I like that flow into. I think it has a better flow first story than the second story. I think Pirates has a better second story than Mansion. Because I was explaining, how you tell the story of pirates. You have the dead pirate story, and then you have the living pirate story. That's kind of like how I see Pirates now. And like Haunted Mansion, you have the scary part, and then you have the fun ghost. I think the story is better in Pirates, but I think Haunted Mansion's story is more fun. It's more Disney. And then the first part of Haunted Mansion is scarier and more immersive than I think the Pirates version. Again, I think both are good. I know we're in this debate.
No, you hate it.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate Pirates. But there are moments in Pirates where I'm going like, come on, can we just be done?
But like the art of it, like, yes, Haunted Mansion, you're going through a mansion. That's really cool. Like going through a house and you feel like you're going through the story. But like the set on Pirates, like the cave scene, I always thought that would be like the coolest place to roam around, is in the cave area where the dead pirates are.
Yeah, and that's what Tom Sawyer's, right? You get caves there, right? I think Haunted Mansion, if you actually stand around and go through the queue line, I mean, for me, I've spent hours in that first part, and I've looked at all the details, looking at all the artwork and all the little details in there for Haunted Mansion. I love it, before you get on the ride. I think Pirates doesn't have that small detail in the queue experience before you get on the ride. And it takes you a while to get into it.
So you're saying the line queue.
The line queue, and also the queue experience of Haunted Mansion, going in the stretch room, and the artwork getting to there. I think it's got really good artwork.
Yeah, but as a guest, you really enjoy when you're packed in there as a mule?
As opposed to the line queue at Pirates.
It's more structure on Pirates, and you're constantly moving, so it's not like you're stuck looking at art because you have no other option. It's constantly moving.
Well, yeah, the load capacity of Pirates can't be matched by any attraction.
Right.
It has more push than anybody else. Mansion's not far behind. It's an omni mover.
Yeah, but it breaks. They have to slow it down or stop it because of handicap.
Yeah, but when the lines slow down, if they have to bring in someone onto a boat, for an extended period of time. And the worst part of Pirates is when they overload it with boats, and you're sitting boat to boat getting rammed. For 2 scenes.
All the way at the jail scene?
The jail scene, that is the worst experience for me on Pirates. It's when you're like, boom, boom, and then the other guy comes, and you're just, I feel like I'm in the Weirdo song of like, another one gets on the bus. It's like, another one bumps my boat. Oh, boom, boom, boom. And that is ride management.
Don't give me ideas. Don't give me these ideas, because I might go forward with that one.
Every time I'm on Haunted Mansion, I get stuck in a scene.
And that's just the reality of, our that was it's an omni mover, and you're gonna have that on any omni mover. Of dealing with the current state of American guests and what they were planning for in 1970 to where they are 50 years, every Omni Mover ride is going to experience that. And I don't think Haunted Mansion's any.
I think both attractions didn't account for that, because like even Pirates had to make some modifications to their boats because of
America's bigger.
The change of the American demographic.
Yeah.
Of
they had to do that for Small World.
Yep. They did it both. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm fine with slowing down on the Haunted Mansion, but I'm not fine as a guest being stuck boat to boat for 2 scenes and then going up the ramp, and you're just sitting there going, I'm done with this ride experience. But at least with the mansion, I know I've got the mirrors, and then I get off, but then I get, I get Constance saying hurry back, and it's good for me. And I think that's what's great about
And then
Disneyland's better than Disney World, is they have that little one that they've got it better there.
All right, Jackie. Next question. So you know your attraction very well. I'm actually very impressed with the research both of you guys have done for this. I was like, oh yeah, oh you brought that up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Then my big Disney nerd. Oh yes, you said it. But so you know your attraction. So what is something about your attraction that you feel needs to be either fixed or updated?
I think JP said it from the beginning. It's the exit. The climb up is a little...
Well, I would say, let me rephrase this. Something that can actually be fixed. Because you can't fix that. That's something that's like...
It's like me saying get rid of the stretch room.
Right.
Well, you can fix and add a story to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be some sort of story, but it could be like, I don't know, animatronic rat like climbing up, or like something whimsical.
Something more engaging than... Yeah.
I mean, you do when you go off, you've got the parrot speaking, which is so fun at the end.
Do they have a parrot there? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
It's when you like
usually.
swoop
Oh, is it at
around.
the pirate chest on the sign?
Yeah.
When
Oh, okay,
everyone's
okay.
staring at you. Yeah. Your favorite
Okay,
part.
yeah, I'm just so social anxiety at that moment. We got like, don't look at me, guys.
I will say on the
I
climb.
like it because I'm like, haha, I rode the ride before you.
Now, there used to be on the climb a little story element of the transition back to normal time.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was a scene where the pirates are trying to push a chest up the hill.
I do remember that.
And then as you get further up, you see the skeletons of pirates. So, like, you get that transition back.
That would make it better. At least with Splash Mountain, you had the birds, hitting you up when you're doing the climb.
Yeah, so I think they could add a little story element. And I don't want like a big story element, but like a little story element at the end.
Okay. All right, Japheth, what's something that you would fix or update that's actually like feasible, not structural?
For the Haunted Mansion.
I want to add another 20 minutes to the ride.
No.
you can't do that.
I think the attraction length is just right. Anything longer than those seats aren't meant for long-term sitting.
Then those turn into 80s Epcot attractions at that point.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh my goodness. I think one of the weakest areas is the cheesy, like 1965 kind of hokey pop-ups and background ghost.
So would you just take them out, or were you updating them or changing them? Or
I mean, if I had money, I would update and put way better animatronics. And I think Jackie would agree.
Yeah.
It's like if you had that money.
Well, I mean, you go to like Tokyo Sea and like the story and the technology in the pirates there is
Shanghai.
Shanghai, yes, is so more superior and way better.
Yeah.
But you get that in other international parks for Haunted Mansion too.
Yeah. When you get down to the catacombs, that gets really dark and creepy, how they do that. You can incorporate kind of that creepiness in there if you want, but then you'd be mixing the two stories where it's supposed to be one half is scary and one half's funny. And that's where it's like, you can just take them out, and you can add another fun ghost that's like kind of creeping behind it and just be like, hello. Because the pop-up thing is supposed to like, oh, like it's just it's hokey for me now. And as you drive by, you just like, you see the cheap, pneumatic systems jumping it up. And that part's really weak for me. I still like how they do the hitchhiking ghost at the end. I really like that, and the mirrors. Disneyland still does the old school way, right?
I mean, as of the recording of this episode, they're in the middle of their big refurbishment. Prior to this refurbishment, it was still the old head turning.
I actually like that. I didn't like it Disneyland.
It's
or Disney
rumored
World.
that they might get the update.
I'm not really a big fan of it.
Fan of what?
The computerized
Oh.
did what they did at Disney World, and that's what I started there when they just started doing it back in 2011. So I'm not a fan. I like just having the old school Pepper Ghost kind of riding along with you. Looks more real than the CGI stuff. Yeah, it's just I would fix the graveyard. I think the weakest scene and its hardest in the story is transition from the ballroom to like the Constance the Bride. It's one of my least favorite rooms.
The attic.
The attic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of my weakest rooms that I would want to do something different with. I'm fine with getting rid of the bride.
Yeah.
They could do something more fun, like put a ghost jazz band or something like there to keep the fun of the party going. Because you go from the party and then you're in this room where it's all like, oh, it's kind of creepy in this room. And then you fall out because Constance's going to get you and you're going to fall out of the attic. And I was explaining that to Father Yoda and it was all like, oh, I never thought of us falling out. It's like, yeah, that's kind of where you're going into the graveyard.
I never
and
knew that until you told me, and maybe it just isn't as clear.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have had like a glass break sound or something.
Yeah, or Constance comes at you. As opposed to just like, I'm a projection.
And then you lean back.
And you lean back.
That is definitely a big complaint I think a lot of Disney fans have is the current version of Constance the Bride.
Yeah, she's...
It's hard to do an animatronic ghost in close proximity.
Yeah.
That's just super hard to do something. And also when you're not given a lot of money to update things.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a projection.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but man, I love the magic of Madame Leota. The head and the ball. That just like, I love that room.
Hey, we're that's not the part of the question.
Okay. Sorry. I'm tangenting.
You're good. I'll give you time to go back and, talk about your favorite things. But I have a question. So both attractions have these super iconic songs. What makes your song better than the other song?
I'll concede that Jackie's is better. Yo ho, yo ho.
Yes.
I think it's catchier.
You don't get as tired of it when riding Pirates compared to Haunted Mansion. That's my thought. Because they play it in different ways throughout the ride. I mean, yeah, you hear it throughout the entire ride, but like you hear like an organ playing it or the, pirates singing it. And there's different ways that they have it to where it's not like in your face like Haunted Mansion.
I don't have any issues with how it's portrayed. I think it's just catchier and it's easier to sing when you leave. Grim Gonna Ghost come out to socialize. It's just, that's a lot for anybody to say.
And if you want to talk about maybe just the music, because Haunted Mansion has different types of music.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion has that eerie, like, do, 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 do. Like, I mean, Disney has ambiance music on Disney Plus for it. It invokes the creepiness. It sets the tone of like the immersion. And I think it's necessary when going through like a haunted house to have that creepy kind of like spooky sound music. Like, could I go through Pirates without the first half hearing any kind of Pirates song? I could, but I think it helps it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it helps it as much as Haunted Mansion, getting you into the mood.
I disagree on that. I think it definitely helps sets the mood, just like Haunted Mansion music does. As they slowly introduce the song, especially through the cave part, you hear it through like the organ and the creepiness, and it sets a tone like this is not like today's music or something. I don't know. It's not something for today. It sets you in the time period of like, oh, I'm in this, like pirate time period.
Yeah. I think just
It's hard. They both compare.
they're both good. They're both catchy. They did a good job. I mean, but I'll concede Pirates has a catchier song, and it's more culturally impactful. Like as X said, one of the writers for it, an Imagineer, he said like it was so cool to hear kids on a boat singing Pirates. Yo ho yo. It culturally impacted outside of the ride, and you don't have that with Haunted Mansion.
It's true. You go, oh, sing a pirate song. Everyone's gonna sing.
Gonna sing that, and so yeah.
I would say, when during holiday time, Haunted Mansion, you got a lot of people going na 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 na.
Yeah, but that's the Nightmare Before Christmas.
I know.
It's not, but yes, with the overlay, it's better.
Okay, so now
Can I bring up a question?
yeah, go for it.
Overlay, Jackie. Who could do a better overlay with the Muppets? Pirates or Haunted Mansion? They both have their own stories.
I think
Pirates.
Haunted.
There you go. Yeah,
I
I
think
didn't
Haunted
realize
Mansion
that,
would
yeah.
be a better overlay because it already has like the hoaxiness
And
to
that could
it,
go with the Muppets.
and that goes with the Muppets. Pirates, it would just make it extra like cheesy and cringier. So, it wouldn't fit.
It's too serious. Pirates is too serious of a story.
Yeah, for Muppets, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can maybe add the Muppets like towards the end, but
That'd be kind of fun just seeing. I would love to see like a Muppet Treasure Island like overlay of Pirates, and kind of twist it a little bit.
it would be a completely different ride. It
Well,
would be
that's
too
the whole point of an
difficult.
overlay. Look at the overlay of Nightmare Before Christmas, and
It's it's different, but it's pretty similar setup.
yeah,
And it would just be too difficult storyline wise, and it's just like there's some like funny parts in Pirates, but I'm not going into Pirates going like ha ha ha, like Haunted Mansion.
okay.
That was a good question. Okay, so both attractions super iconic, right? Us Disney
Yeah.
fans love to use that special word iconic when it comes to certain attractions. So what would be the iconic scene that represents your attraction? What one scene represents the entire attraction? Jackie's thinking hard.
I think for me with Pirates, it's the Bride for Sale, like that whole because you're going in and you're seeing the chaos of pirates raid. Like that's for me. Like
But what is
I
it for
think it's-
Haunted?
For Haunted, it's really hard.
Yeah,
Because there's different, like, there's really, like, you have the Hitchhiking Ghost. You have, like, as you go from scene to scene, Disney is pulled from them. So it's really hard.
You have to choose one though.
But I
That's
have
the
to-
question.
that's-
I will go with the Hitchhiking Ghost. Those are the most iconic because that's what comes home with you. Is, that's your souvenir. Is you get a Hitchhiking Ghost, and you'll remember they were with you in that Doom buggy, and you'll talk about it like, oh, what everyone has. Which one did you get? Oh, I got the one that does. I got the creepy one. Oh, I got the one with a beard. Like that, you take that out, with your attraction. So yeah, Hitchhiking Ghost, most iconic part.
I think for me, it's when you first enter into the live pirate scene and you're greeted with a battle.
The pirate battle.
The pirate
You
battle.
got-
You got Davy Jones, animatronic. He is like
Barbossa.
It's
Oh,
Barbossa.
Barbossa. Yeah, sorry.
I would be really impressed at Davy Jones. So you fire death.
Sorry, I meant Barbossa. One of the most iconic.
He's my favorite pirate.
he's
I
the-
like him more than Johnny Depp.
He's one of the best
Jack
pirates.
Sparrow.
He's got the attitude and he's spitting out pirate things and fighting. And you've got people, the citizens fighting, and you're stuck within the battle. And you're just like, I don't want to get splashed. I don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that just fully immersive, like, throws you in, like, I'm in a different world.
It changes the story. You start your story of pirates at that point. And yeah, it's probably the most kind of yeah,
Yeah.
I you know, it goes from scene to scene. You have your things that you remember.
But I think that's the most iconic because it's the most focal point of the story. There's not so many animatronics going on in the background until you get into the village scene. So they are fully focusing on this story, and I'm fully immersed into it.
It's the beginning of the story.
Right. So that's why I think it's the most iconic.
All right, that was fun. I like that.
I think
like
maybe
these
the most
answers.
iconic, maybe the dog with the key.
I would say
That's
that's
the last
most
thing. That's the last thing you
whimsical
see. That's the
moment or
last
fun
thing you really
moment.
see, and that's the one that people think is cute. You know, and you would start wondering like, how would I get the key? You know, like
I think for Haunted Mansion, it's the stretch room.
I think it's the most immersive part. They've got 4 different stories, you know, with the pictures, and then you have the ghost host. But you don't talk about the stretch room when you leave. You talk about the hitchhiking ghost. That's what sticks with you. That I see hitchhiking ghost stickers on cars and doom buggies more than I see stretch room or ghost host.
Sure.
That's some valid points there. Okay. Final. Actually, no, I did have another one because we've been going at it with each other. So what would you say is the high point of your opponent's attractions? So what is your favorite moment of each other's attraction?
I'll go with the smell is the most. You say
The bromine smell?
yeah, the smell of the water.
Burning town smell?
Yeah, that's the most iconic thing for me, for the attraction.
I would say it's the Madame Leosa
Leota
scene.
So cool.
It's pretty visual and different compared to all the other scenes.
You don't see anything like that.
No.
throughout the
Especially
rides.
now that it's floating. So
Right.
that's really cool.
Yeah, if it wasn't floating, it probably wouldn't be as
Even
high
when
up.
it was still really cool. Like you have this head and you're going, is that a real person? And
Well,
like it's
I also enjoy the history of the actor of who did that,
Yeah.
and now it's the daughter.
Are you talking about the voice or you talk about the actual
face.
actor?
The face
actual,
model.
The face.
The recording of the face. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a cool scene. You know, Madame Leota.
Okay. So final statements. You got sum up your argument into just a brief synopsis of why your attraction is better than the other.
You want to go first?
You can go.
Of
I mean, I
course.
can go.
Okay, why don't you go?
I think, they're very similar in how they're put together. And for me, it's really hard to say like mine's better. I'm coming with a lot of bias of going from scene to scene and knowing the magic behind it and knowing it creates an appreciation. I think the cast members have better costumes.
Agreed.
I never hear anybody going, "Oh, I want."
Well, I know at Disney World they do
It's
like
the
them
socks.
stripy socks.
It's the socks. That's
They
the
like
only
the
thing
stripy
everybody likes
socks.
is the socks, but nobody wants But for us, it's the coat.
Yep.
It's more posh.
It's yeah. I mean, I remember walking around the tunnels and people are going like, I get the look going, "Oh, you look so good," and then I
Yeah.
put on the tiki room and like, it's like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
street rats.
Yeah.
Better costumes. I think the immersion into the attraction through the queue experience is better. Going from outside to inside until you get onto the attraction is better. When you're at Pirates, you're just in a streaming queue line and you get very little, you don't get the cast member interaction. Pirates does have, it has a slow, relaxing experience. What I do like about the ride attraction of Haunted Mansion is you can put your head back in the Doom Buggy.
And take a nap.
And you can take a nap. You have that choice.
You do.
If I take a nap on Pirates, the people in the boat, they're going to look at me a little weird. They're going to be like, sir. And you're like, you do have
So
it.
it is a little more difficult.
It's a little bit more difficult, but, you can, I feel I can just put my head back and just relax on the Haunted Mansion. Where else am I? I think there's the versatility of overlays with the Haunted Mansion is a plus. It is better suited for Fast Pass than Pirates.
Agreed.
Each scene brings stories, and I don't think it's any better than Pirates. Pirates has a lot to look at, but it's a linear story. You're going from you're starting from the invasion.
Jackie was shaking her head.
Well, and she does. You do. You go from, let's just go you go from, when the pirates invade, and you're going from when they take over, getting information, and then you see them pillage, and then you see it catch on fire, and you see a ladder. That's a linear story. With a Haunted Mansion, you're going from room to room, and it brings, difference. And what is that? Oh, let me create my own story here and there. You get that with your individual people, but each room in the Haunted Mansion brings magic and mystery. And you don't get that with Pirates with its linear story. It's a movie. You're seeing scene from scene what it is. This story. Haunted Mansion, you're going from room to room going what am I going to get myself into next? You don't know unless you've ridden the ride a million times. And it's like going to Pirates, you're going to see the same movie over and over. It's just a matter of you want to fixate on another character. I think the ending for Haunted Mansion is better. You leave, feeling a part of the story still. The story's carried with you as opposed to Pirates where it just doesn't. Going up the ramp kills the ride. I'm just waiting to exit. Yeah, and I think Mansion has the magic that really embodies the Disney experience and creates that. There's just the wonder, and the scenes with the different ghosts can be great. The hokiness is what kills it with the cheap effects. But the magic of the ghost with the pepper ghost or the, going back and forth with the candelabra, that's really cool. The endless hallway. All right. That's kind of my ending right there. Magic. We've got magic. You don't.
Okay.
You got old robots from 1960.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
We do, but we got magic still.
We have magic.
We have an organist that plays the organ from Captain Nemo.
All right. So I think some of the good focal points for Pirates that makes it special, it's a boat ride. I think...
Is it a water ride?
It's a boat...
Go back to our episode of how to classify different attractions.
Yeah, that was a fun debate.
Is it a water ride or is it a boat ride?
It is a boat ride, so it fits right into the theme. You can fit larger families together. You're not splitting up people.
That is a good point.
The queue set into it, yeah, it's not as detailed, I would say, as Haunted Mansion, but I think it fits it well into it because
walking into a building and then I'm into this
get
swamp area.
The music, the smells, all is a part of introducing the queue and the story to you. And then you've got the great creepy banjo part at the boat, and you got Blue Bayou right there, and you're always oh.
I was wondering if you were gonna bring up the restaurant. I was like, all right.
You got Blue Bayou restaurant.
If Haunted Mansion created a restaurant, which restaurant would you go to? A Haunted Mansion restaurant?
Blue Bayou. Well, it depends on where the Haunted Mansion. If it's in the graveyard, I would stay away.
What if it was a ballroom? You had a ballroom scene going kind of with the ghost while you're eating.
Blue Bayou, because the music is so in your face.
Swampy music.
Okay, it is not that loud.
Okay. I'll serenade you.
Hey, what's
my
wrong
swamp."
with a nice banjo song?
I'm just saying,
I
like,
think
it's
it's-
nice music, and I'm like, it is very slow pickings.
I think it's relaxing. It's a more relaxing environment.
It does. That scene, super relaxing, and it is a good reprieve from the chaos of it. Like, you're not on it. Haunted Mansion preys on, like, uneasiness at
You're right.
first. If you want relaxing, boom, Pirates is it. I agree.
And I mean, everyone knows what Blue Bayou's restaurant is. It's one of the most iconic restaurants, and it's immersive.
prime rib.
Oh, I mean, the quality. We'll get it. We don't need to get into that, but that's
I'll say
that's
this:
the Disney
it's
company.
better quality than the food at Haunted Mansion.
That's true.
Yeah.
That birthday cake is like 50 years old.
Right, exactly.
And that lady's been breathing all over it.
A lot of spit on that, or ghost spit.
Ghost spit.
Ghost spit.
So what is that? Spectral gruel?
Slime.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Slimer.
The sets in each of the scenes are so massive and awesome to look at. I mean, they created a full-on sky. You look up inside Haunted Mansion and it's not the most prettiest
Well,
thing.
I'm in a roofed doom buggy, and
Yeah.
I'm inside. I'm in a mansion. That's,
Right. I'm just saying they created an environment
Yeah, it's a movie scene. Like I said, it's a linear movie scene.
that has different stories throughout that
It's the
scene.
same story,
It is
Jackie.
not the same story.
It is, because do we have different pirates coming
You have
invading?
Excuse
it's
me,
the
sir.
same town.
This is her closing argument.
Okay.
Let her finish.
All right.
Exactly. You do, because they did add Johnny Depp to it. And throughout the story, you have different animatronics pointing out, oh, you need to find Johnny Depp. He has the quest to
the
the
same
treasure.
story.
But that's not the same story as the original story.
No, but it's the same story in the
It's
right
a story
experience.
within a story.
A story within a story. Yeah,
Yes.
well, it's still going in one direction. It's all leading you to one. It's not like it's splintering off like
And the Haunted Mansion is.
what I explained was each room brings mystery. It's not a linear story. Until you get to the ballroom and you fall from the attic. From there, the story is you are exploring the Haunted Mansion. The stories can break off based upon where you go to stop.
I can use that same argument for Pirates.
But Pirates is, let me explain. It's the pirate ship invades, the pirates round up the guest, and then they pillage, and then they burn it down, and then they leave. Or they're stuck there drunk. It's just, that's it. That's the gist of every scene in there. And you don't have that with Mansion. You, as the guest, are exploring on the Haunted Mansion. Pirates, you're watching a pillage, for that second part of the story.
Yeah, but you are exploring different parts in each of the scenes, just like you're saying you do for Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion, you're exploring the house, which is different from exploring the story of pirates pillaging. There's not one story in the Haunted Mansion, because you as the guest are part of it, as opposed to being an observer in Pirates.
All right, let's carry on.
Okay.
This is fun for me. I haven't said much at all, and this is great. I'm enjoying all of this.
We have different perspectives of how we see the
Yes.
story of it.
The obviously attraction, both are attractions into movies,
Yeah.
and Pirates is obviously more superior, and I feel like the Easter eggs are better in the Pirates movie, but that's one point. And then
The Easter eggs. An Easter egg makes the ride better.
yes, absolutely. Because people that come in, they've seen the movies, right? And they go, oh, I recognize that.
So you're saying the emotional attachment from the movie translates better into that. Yeah, but the movie's better. I will concede that pirate movies are better than Haunted Mansion, because Haunted Mansion, it's hard to write a story about one location with many different ghosts. Although the new movie did a good job, they executed poorly. But yes, the Easter eggs seeing a good movie and seeing the trinkets in there is gonna make it better. Yeah.
Another of just a few more scenes that are great. The dogs are the key. So fun, so whimsical, like of how would you get the dog? You know? It creates the fun towards the end of the scene. You also have the pirates playing with guns and cannons in one of your least favorite parts.
Least favorite scene.
But I
Hate
think
it.
it's fun. It's because you're just like, you're on edge because you're like, oh, it's near explosives. I hope. Like, it just is, it creates the same of like, you're stuck in with careless pirates.
It's
because
like
that's
watching
real
rednecks
life.
with explosives and a swamp. That's what I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but that's a part of it. That's pirates, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the ride was relaxing until that scene.
You know, but Pirates isn't supposed to be fully relaxing.
I mean, we talked about it being relaxing in the beginning.
It is relaxing
And then
at
it
the
just
beginning,
doesn't-
but then you get full in impact fight. You know, the most iconic scene. You got
That's good. You get in the scene, and then after I leave that, I don't feel like the pirates are invading me. I feel like a fly on the wall. And like I said, the boat scene, immersive. I feel like I am one of the pirates in the boat. But then when I get in the city, I don't feel that. I feel like I'm in a movie watching it like from the camera view.
Right, and they do bring it back with the guns and cannons with the explosive and the fire scene.
Yeah.
Now, the transition at the end from when you get off the boat to the gift shop is superior to Haunted Mansion because you're not blinded by a light.
Yeah, being in a dark ride.
And then you're like, boom, it's like 100 degrees outside. And the gift shop, hello, is amazing. It's one of the best gift shop.
Sucks. Pirate merchandise has been horrible for the last 20 years. It was cool when they had real pirate guns.
20 years seems excessive, but I would say
that was the last time we had. That was when it was exciting to go. I have not gone in that shop in like 5 years. Like, no. Each time I've gone as an adult, I've had no interest going in there because I go in there and I'm disappointed. But when I go as an adult looking at Haunted Mansion merchandise, I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I want that. I want this. This looks good. But again, I'm biased. I like Haunted Mansion. I want its merchandise. I don't like pirates, and I don't like.
Transition into you're in New Orleans little alleyways, and that's fully immersive and cool.
That's really cool.
And it's a gift shop, but like there's openings through the gift shop, and I feel like it's a more immersive gift shop.
But is that the pirate experience, or is that the New Orleans experience?
It transitions into both.
Well, you gotta say when is it? Like, is the pirate experience until you go through the gift shop?
I would say so.
It's one of those, and then it's like, is a bayou part of the pirates experience? I'm looking for, where does it, start and end, with.
Why does it have to start and end? Why
well,
can't
because we're comparing, like
transition.
It's the transition.
But it transitions more smoothly, and that's the point I'm coming off. It transitions more smoothly instead of abruptly. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm in the midst of like these crowds.
You're back at Disneyland,
right?
You're right. Feel like you're in a time and place.
You still feel like you're in that pirate environment as you transition into the New Orleans area.
I think I agree. Where Pirates is the weakest is its beginning and immersing you into the ride. It's better immersing you back into Disneyland. While Haunted Mansion immerses you into its attraction better, and it is abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Which may change.
Yes. We don't know.
They're putting a gift shop at the end of the attraction now, so we'll see when they finish their updates. So those listening a year from now, because a year from now it should be open. If you, that might, our opinion might have changed by then.
And what would be so cool to exit out of each attraction, because they're interconnected story-wise with Tom Sawyer's Island, Pirates, is that you have the option to go into a tunnel to like go to Tom Sawyer's under the river, like
that would be way
to
cool.
like go into like a secret like way to get into New Orleans, just like a tunnel network. Be really cool. But again, my anxiety would be up through the roof because it's California and you're underground, like Yeah, no.
Yeah. But those are my main points for Pirates.
Well, this was fun, y'all. This was great. I just
Two
sat back and
siblings
enjoyed.
tearing at each
That's
other while
right.
you didn't.
I didn't have to prepare anything for this episode. It was great. No. But thanks for listening. What do you guys think? Who won your heart in this debate? Was it Pirates? Was it Haunted Mansion? Let us know in the comments. You can take a look at us at our social medias, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. You can email us at matterhornyodelers@gmail.com.
We'll have a poll on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, we'll put a poll up for this episode. But yeah, tell us what you think. Which one's better, Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean? It was exciting for me to come into this because honestly,
What's your opinion, Peter?
Yeah.
You haven't said anything.
I know I haven't said anything.
You wanna
I wanted
chime in?
to try to be a little impartial. Okay, so honestly, I feel that both attractions need an update.
Yes.
They are definitely
It's so 1968.
they are victims of their age, and unfortunately, because of the community and what they represent historically, they're not going to get that necessary update that will make it a viable attraction 50 years from now.
It's gonna be like the
It's
dark
gonna-
rides with the cardboard cutouts.
It's gonna
Yeah.
it's
soon.
gonna fall into this category, kind of like Great Movie Ride did, where it's like it was a really great idea of an attraction, but it eventually is going to get outdated, and people are gonna stop coming. As blasphemous as that might sound, I honestly believe the time will come when both of these attractions might end up getting the axe. As to which one, I don't know.
I don't know the way
first.
Disney likes not putting money into parks or
Yeah.
taking them away. It's hard to well, we're gonna shut it down. What are you gonna replace it with?
Right. And so, and for Disneyland, I don't, if I had to say which one would they more likely change or get rid of, I can definitely see them completely wiping out the entirety of Pirates of the Caribbean and putting in a new story, maybe not Pirates, but something else that could fit in that space. And then Haunted Mansion, I could see them completely wiping that out completely as well and putting something brand new. I love both attractions, but I do feel both attractions do lack in that excitability. I don't get excited for these attractions anymore. They're great. I still love them and I love going on them, but they don't excite me like some of these other attractions do. It's not like
It's not an e-ticket from 1970.
No.
it's definitely, it's a great museum piece. That's the way I look at these attractions. They're a great look into Disney's history, which again I'm a big fan of, but they don't appeal to the I want to go and have fun and do these fun crazy things. So I kind of sit on the side of I love both of them for what they are and what they represent, but I would be okay if they wanted to completely gut them and put something fresh and new in there as well.
I'm not opposed to them doing that for Pirates.
I think
I'm sorry, I had to. No, I agree with Peter. It could be done. Both of them could be. You
I think-
incorporate different scenes in there. It'll be enough.
I think they
enough
just
Easter eggs of a
both
ride.
need to be updated technology wise. I
Yes.
said this in the state of Disney. It's like Disney, instead of creating new attractions, just needs to invest in higher quality and not overlays, but just technology wise in the existing rides, and it would be fine.
I agree. The
For
waxiness of the animatronics of Pirates kind of takes me out of it. And it's the hokey mechanics of the
Yeah.
ghosts in some of the scenes are just okay.
Yeah.
The movements are just they're robotic.
Yes.
And it's we are so much better at that technology wise now. to where it's like, come on, 50 years of animatronic creation.
Let's update the. I do agree. Both attractions could update their animatronics.
You know, like add a fight scene with swords and pirates would be so exciting.
Well, and they do in the Shanghai one.
I mean, like they relied on shadows to do
Yeah.
that and projections and pirates, and it's like pirates fight, and we don't really see like hand-to-hand combat, the brutality of it,
But yeah, again, let us know what you guys think. But until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.